God bless America. God bless dimple dyes.
God damn it. Is that a cheese grater?
It's Swiss cheese, bro.
Swiss cheese. All right, where are we at?
Rear two.
Rear
That was a
two.
little aggressive, huh?
Rear two.
Rear two.
Did you film any of it at all?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I filmed all this, doing the whole thing.
Okay, cool.
I didn't talk about it,
So
but I filmed it.
It's all on a speed dial. I mean, what do we got going on here?
I bent the main hoop
Cut.
for the rear tube.
Have them all the way out.
All the way out.
Looks good on each plate.
Yeah.
I assume we're tucking it up right now.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
Get it.
All right. I mean, it's a little bit more than just some tacks, but we kind of needed to do it with what we got going on.
Yeah, because of the weight of the tube on the tacks, it wants to bend down, so we put some stitch welds in. Only show them that one.
Show them all. Dang, not bad.
I'm getting better, dude.
Getting better.
What, I only started welding like 4 months ago, 5 months ago?
Yeah, if that. So she's definitely tacked in there good now, nice and straight. We had to fix it once, but no big deal.
Yeah.
But,
Alright, I got the third tube done. And it's pretty much dead nuts. Can't really see it there. It just needs a little tap down to get it to line up with this bar here. But the notches are good, nice and tight.
Just hit a button, Morty. Give me a beat. Oh man. Okay. All right.
There it is, all tacked in. I actually did a few little welds, that way it stays in the same spot, so I'm not worried about it moving a whole lot. Just little guys. Jake can go over those with the TIG and make everything look super nice. So yeah, it's all set in, looking good. Next thing I'm probably going to work on, well, we'll see, is I want to get a 1-inch tube that'll go from this bar here up to the tail lights and kind of structurally hold the tail lights. And then I'll probably make a plate here and actually do a support on the quarter panel, because really if we get hit, I don't want this to crush. If it comes down to it and that happens, this will all get cut and then I'll have to make brackets for the tail lights. But as of right now, I'd like to keep it, not worry about it, not do the extra work, which I'll probably regret later. And I'm using some quick release latches that I can just take the bumper off super easy. So it'll be nice just having those two locations. I'll have two there and then have two where the rear quarter comes down. Hit those four, pop the rear bumper off. And then we just changed from Pro 2 to ProSpec. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw the rule changes and have heard people talk about it. So one thing that they had mentioned was with your rear bumper, you're not allowed to run the two tabs with a through bolt. Now it says rear bumper, so it's something I gotta clarify, because this is really my rear bumper. The part off of it would be the bash bar. So is there a difference? Can I run the bash bar with that setup? If not, I gotta figure out the coupling for this. so that the bash bar just sets in with a through bolt into an actual tube. That's something I gotta figure out once I size up the body kit. And so I'd like to kind of explain why I did it this way. So I built this super structural, super strong. You take a hit into this, it's gonna be hard to bend, especially with how many triangulations we have in it. It's gonna be really hard to mess this thing up. And that's why I did so much strength here in between the frame, because I didn't want to get hit here, this be super strong, this be weak, all of a sudden I'm bending frame. So this should be a little weaker than this, but it's all really strong. And the reason I did that is because that keeps all of this safe. It keeps the back end of the car safe, getting into the strut towers and all that. And then what I'll do is build the couplings and have the bash bar extend out and past this. So anything that gets hit from the side, the energy will be absorbed into those bash bars, crush into those, and then make contact with this stuff. So that's kind of the main idea of it. Everybody does it different. Everybody has their different ideas. That's what makes this part awesome. You know, who knows? Maybe I go out there, I hit a wall, destroy the whole thing. It is what it is. But I'm learning. You know, this is my thought process on it. Everybody builds cars different. So, all we're gonna have to do is test it out there, and I'm gonna have to get as close as I can to a wall, see how it works. But maybe not when it's nice and painted and fresh. Nah, I'll do it anyways. On another note, seats ordered, it's coming. And figuring out the pedal situation, like I said, they changed some rules for ProSpec, and they want to take away aftermarket pedals and steering columns. So I'm trying to decide if I stick with what I'm doing now or if I change it. So when it comes down to that, I kind of got to decide what I want to do. But as soon as the rear end's done and everything's dialed there, I'm gonna start working on the interior. I gotta do the tabs for the fire suppression and start just doing all the plates to seal up the whole car, and then finishing up all the gusset plates. I got all these cut out. I just need to trim them up a little bit, do the dimpled eyes, and I got some cool stuff coming. Not gonna show it yet, but let's just say the whole car is gonna be tied in. And it should turn out pretty sick. So little stuff like that, and probably fit up the body kit before I send it out, just so I know that all the mounting points are right. I don't have to put any extra holes in with the aftermarket kit. And this bad boy will go and get painted, or powder coated, I should say. Still don't know what color. If you got an idea, let me know. I'm on the bandwagon with white. I've seen some really cool stuff, so let me know if you think I should do a different color. Alright, I got the body kit fitted up, clecoed in, it's nice and tight. Put the fitment for the A-pillar on there to make sure everything was good. Do the same with the other side. So it fits pretty well. Just gonna have to do some fine sanding here on the edges to make everything fit right. So I took the taillights out, I marked everything up, the section that I want to keep, and now it's time to cut this bad boy out. And that'll be the last part of the rear end that we got to cut out. And then I can build my tubes up to support it, get rid of these. Thinking about doing tubes straight up here just to put some structural in the body. And yeah. little stuff to do, some little cuts, but I can get in there with a little bit of a smaller cutoff wheel and do the fine details, and then I'll put my bracing in and we'll be ready to go. So at the same time, I got to give a little thanks. I wasn't going to do this because I don't like thanking Tori. I don't really like the guy. I don't know why I do vlogs with him, but you know, he lets me use his shop. He's put his drift car outside. We bring it in at night. He hasn't worked on his Pro-Am car at all. And he's sacrificed the shop for me to get this car done. And I just think it's something super cool. You know, him and his girlfriend Kayla, they let me move in, and I was able to save some money, be here all the time to get to work on this bad boy, and so I really appreciate them. Thank you guys. All right, I'm done being all heartfelt. I actually don't like you, Tori. Dude, you know what we can do?
What's that?
Talk about my transmission.
We talked about a lot of stuff, like the fact that you just blew the GFI and couldn't figure it out.
I didn't know there was a GFI, bro.
What do you want to talk about first? This? Boom! Boom! Okay. So for the people that don't know, what is it?
Is a T101A.
T101A. T101A.
T101 101A.
So made by
G-Force.
G-Force. That is a side shift dog box. Currently has a 29 spline input shaft. We are swapping it out for a 26 spline.
Yes.
More common for the stuff that we do. So got a steal of a deal. Shout out to
Ben White.
Ben White.
Hooked me up. He was he had just bought parts for it to put in his Camaro, and he decided that he would still sell it to me. So super pumped about it. Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Ben. Thank you, thank you. Did he give you a discount because it's leaking?
You know, I might have to hit him up again. It's not acceptable. I mean, he didn't wrap it very well, so.
Yeah. Ben, you always got to wrap it, buddy. So you got some stuff done. This looks pretty good. Came out exactly how you wanted it to come out.
Yeah, I started doing the gusseting in the front.
Okay.
Got this plate done. These plates I got bent and fitted.
Trimmed them up.
Trimmed them up. I gotta do a little bit more trimming here, but they're about where I want them.
Okay. Gussets, or you gonna do double dies?
Yep. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out the design. Lots of holes, lots of circles. This isn't it.
Okay. You're gonna brake clean that off?
Yeah, that's the second revision. The first
Okay.
revision was even worse, and then the third one's gonna be perfect. So
Okay, well, that's fine.
we'll
That's
get
fine.
those done. Okay. Tuber's done.
Tuber is done.
Tuber's finished up.
Minus bending 2 more of those.
2 more of these.
Spares. And then I think those studs are changing? Or those nuts changing?
These will probably change.
Those will change.
Yeah. this
Because
is
you'll put an actual stud there since you're actually going to use these for the push pins.
Yes.
So these little guys are the end pieces for these push pins, the studs for these push pins. And he's going to end up not using those there. Just in that exact location, right?
Yeah, it just doesn't work out with the bumper, with how high the bumper needs to be, and I didn't want to bring this bar up even further. So there was no way to get the actual push button onto the studs
Yeah.
to make it work out. So
Yeah. Turn out
and then I got the fuel cell cage.
Fuel cell cage done.
Yeah.
Nice, buddy. That looks good.
So I just gotta figure out. I haven't tacked it in or anything. I gotta figure out that we're still able to pull the fuel cell if needed.
Yep.
With where the down bars are, it
Yep.
might have to go forward like half an inch.
Just barely. It looks like it's going to be close if you look at it from this angle.
Yeah. So what I need to do
real
is
close.
set it in there and then put the fuel cell in
Yeah.
and see if I can get the fuel cell in.
And then just to confirm, gusset here.
Yep.
On both sides.
On both sides.
Cool. That'll look good. Once those are welded up, then we got a few other miscellaneous things, and this thing could head off to possibly sandblast and powder coat.
That's the plan, if we got enough time. So
Hopefully. That's what I want to see happen. Mostly because that's what I'm going to do on the Pro car, obviously, so I would like to go through the processes now, because it's kind of like, we talked about this with my red car. There's so many things that I would do different, and I've told him all of those things on this car, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, that's how we should do it. So we make those changes now. He does them right, this time. And then now, when he helps me with the cage in the black car, it's going to be way better than his car.
yeah.
So, all right. So the rules this coming up year, where you're going to be running Pro-Am, you can run whatever you want to do in Pro-Am.
Yeah.
ProSpec this year, everything's the same except for it's going to get a link ECU. Next year, they are requiring a stock steering column and stock pedals.
Yeah.
In theory, our plan is for you and me to get our Pro license. I already have mine. For you to get your Pro license this year, and we're going to go do it together next year.
Yeah.
So, what's your plans with your steering column and pedal box?
I'm still iffy about what I want to do, because I already have the aftermarket column. And kind of how they were talking, I don't know if people have watched Maximum Driftcast, and Kevin was on there, and it sounded like he might make some leeway with some of the rules about the column. If not, I'm going to keep my stock column and probably just switch it over. I'll just run the aftermarket one for now. The pedals, I haven't decided. I'm not 100% sure because what it's going to require is me making a bracket that matches up to the stock, core, I don't know what you would call it, core dash bar for the dash, because that's where it mounts to.
It's not going to be fun at all.
It's going to suck. It's going to be a pain. It'd be so much easier to throw in a pedal box, throw in aftermarket steering column.
Yep.
It takes one tab to hold your steering column in.
Yep.
If I do a floor mount, it mounts to the floor, I'm set.
And I'm on the same page as you. I think you should do the steering column, the aftermarket one, and the pedals, because that's something that we can tackle after this season if we need to swap it over.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yes.
302 block.
302 block.
We need a 302 block just for mock-up, because he's going to be doing some cutting somewhere in that area there. And that needs to get done before this goes to sandblast and powder coat. So that's kind of one big item on the list that needs to be tackled.
Yeah.
But I think what we're going to do is we're going to take my transmission out of the car, out of the red car, and Carlton's going to borrow my bell housing because he hasn't ordered one yet. He's kind of waiting to order that. I mean, he's got to figure out all that, what he wants to run and what brands and whatnot. But what we'll do for now is we'll get a block, 302 block, toss it in the car, toss the bell housing on the trans that he has, put it in the car, build a tranny cross member, and start cutting out the trans tunnel. That way we can get it done before powder coat. Is that it?
I think so. I don't want to walk that way.
Say hi, Colin.
Hi, Colin. Miss you, bud.
Hi, Colin.